Yo, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to North Beach First Fridays and the beginning of spring. Now, I'm Dan Macchiarini, and this is Macchiarini Creative Design. And we're in our 78th year here. Yeah. And the beginning of spring, I usually read The Spring Offensive of the Snail by Marge Piercy, just to celebrate spring. But we'll wait till next month for that. It happens to be also International Women's Month. And Chinese New Year's parade is happening tonight. So I have a poem that I want to read. It's the Year of the Horse. And this was calligraphied by my late half-sister, Laura Macchiarini. And she was an incredible calligraphy artist. And I can give a copy of this to people if they want it afterwards. I'll make a copy of it. But this is the Year of the Horse, and it comes out of a collection of poems by Theodora Lau. Appropriate that it's a woman poet from that culture. It's called The Year of the Horse. Chinese New Year 4723. That's what it is this year. I am the kaleidoscope of the mind. I import light, color, and perpetual motion. I think, I see, I am moved by electric fluidity, constant only in my inconsistency. I am unshackled by mundane holds, unchecked by sturdy binding goals. I am unimpeded through virgin paths. My spirit is unconquered, my soul forever free. I am the horse. And a really cool graphic was created by this with this too. I want to now introduce Jessica Luce. Jessica Luce, who is our amazing poet and manager of First Fridays forever. And she's going to introduce our readers tonight other than me.
They haven't. Anyway, thank you, Dan Macchiarini. Thank you, everyone, for coming to North Beach First Fridays and the poetry reading here at Macchiarini Creative Design. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to read tonight because there's so many ways to interpret International Women's Day and what one should read for International Women's Day. This is called A World Without Walls. The smell of fresh-cut lawns in sneezy New Jersey suburbs makes me think of people without homes, reminds me of dusty hay and cow manure on farm-lined roads in Skaneateles, which reminds me of the fossil fuels used to raise cattle for barbecued steaks and gas for all the cars and traffic jams on the turnpike. But the earthly smell of just raked autumn leaves, with the coming snow, which reminds me of scents from other negative ion emitters, the sappy pines and the salty ocean, which smells like it sounds, and reminds me of refugees on the run, drowning at sea, trying to flee. In a world without walls, this wouldn't be the ubiquitous response to anomie. Everywhere, bring the walls down, brick by inch by row. We gotta get there, make the garden grow, don't let the sun go down. In a world without walls, girls wouldn't be raped in Africa because some men think it'll cure their AIDS. Children wouldn't get bombed and maimed and killed in Damascus. They'd be at school learning the abacus and calculus. Kids wouldn't be sex trafficked in Hamtramck. They'd be at home making ceramics. In a world without walls, climate change wouldn't be fake news. Maria and Katrina might have stayed home. And what about the sapphire sun from the flames? Even here in San Francisco, the rancid stench of burning cars, chemicals, scorched bodies in paradise, all the people who couldn't get out, which isn't pleasure. Here comes the sun. Where is the sun? We gotta get there. Yeah. Paradise now. And this is The Cradle. The poem comes from within me. That is why I can't come out. My daddy sings gobbledygook for beer and black olives. So the words take me only where the horse can carry me. I am not a mountain, only a mirror. Okay, I'll just leave it by that, and I might read another poem later by someone else. Let me introduce now the one and only Agneta Falk.
I want to start with a poet that I have recently rediscovered, but it was actually gifted to me. She's called Genevieve Taggart, a brilliant woman, and this young man just gave it to me and it's signed by her. She died actually in the early 50s, and she wrote this poem I'm going to read in the 40s. And she wrote just about what is happening now. But with glasses it will be better. To arm you for this time. Persist so, tell and retell. This time's imperative and say farewell to the dear face of those who wish to die. Let those who are dying now die quickly, either die or will to renew. So to find, to attain a treble will, the mature, the resolute, the unshaken heart, renew at the source, go to the source and return. Go quickly, hurry, where in battle drop the life personal dry pod colored once, now drab, ready to split, to scatter seed, work to infuse the imperfect, the moribund, with energy and delight. Go, rouse, energy calls forth, energy, remember the teacher who worked to prepare, to cleanse, to remake, to arm. You, for this time, but if you persist in dying, die quickly. No sluggard now, for death and life both alternate, hell hold. The new, the arriving change. This planet works, it stirs, it is busy. Make room for the enormous new. Daily, the sun pours about the head and shoulders, the expanding dawn, the enduring light. Genevieve Taggart. Genevieve Taggart. Miss Wong, I had a little message from Miss Jong today, so I thought I'll read Miss Wong. Miss Wong, you pull me in. Behind your left iris, spinning silk spinning. A net around your skull. You lean west, your red shoes stroking the pink grass. You cut with silky thread. Your eyes of steel so magnificently framed for no other reason than directing wild horses through Manchurian landscape, spinning silk. Actually, you don't have to clap after each poem because there are a lot of little short vignettes, but if you can't help it, you're very welcome. This one is for my grandmother. It's called Hannah. It goes like, I'm so sorry about this, but... And she lived for many years without a sea, penetrated by the tight winds of autumn sneaking through her window panes. Her last days behind closed eyelids, altered by the time of day like a connoisseur of light, traveling in the shadow of a barefoot Indian who cleared a way through the jungle. She knew nothing of fear or hope, laying her bare bones in the arms of soft lichen. She had served well and long on the multifarious colors of the globe, now rotating like a carousel in the flesh of her cells, her mistakes and virtues running parallel lines through her face, calmed by the song of her throat. That was my little grandma. You couldn't help yourself. Speaking of gazelles, into these moist corners, your eyes, I watch you, gazelle, walking across the room. Then seated between two gigantic emperors, smiling perpetually into the cracks of your face, as you fade under their eagle hands, wringing your pearly mind, infatuation, worming charm, drawing the color from your face, stringing it out on a wash line with other gazelles that came under the weight of acrobats throwing tricks in moonlight. And then, this is a dedication to a woman you all know. She lived on these streets for many years. Her name, I forget her name now, but we called her Queen Transilla. Do you remember her? She was the most beautiful, intelligent woman you could ever meet. Wrapped in rags on the sidewalk in North Beach, sleeping through the elements, piercing blue eyes in a weather-burned face, with a voice like a resonance from a barrel of finest silk. It's you I bend to listen to, those sparks released like wild birds, so simply complex, so dazzling in that flight from your palette. Whichever way you turn your story, from whichever throne you climb, we're on our knees at your twinkle of command, as you advise young girls how to spell Nietzsche. Homeless dancer with all the trappings of light and wind, spinning a universe from a paving stone of sheer genius. I'm just thinking. It happens. It happens. This is a poem called She. Just as I'm about to fall asleep, a young girl on the other side of the world gets out of bed and wakes me up. As she begins to prepare breakfast of bread, cucumber, and olives. When she's finished eating, she goes into the garden to water the olive trees, to smell the roses. Then she slips out of her hijab, straps a loaded belt to her waist above her tight-fitting jeans, disappears into a crowd, disappears with them in a cloud of dust. They say she was a kind and gentle girl. Then there is the silence. I kind of like to celebrate women who have lived in this part of the town, and I want to, in this case, celebrate Ruth Weiss. Ruthful for Ruth Weiss. There are 3 words in the English language that describes you, Ruth, perfectly. Ruthful, truthful, youthful. The rhythm of that pulse of life, your turquoise head bopping, filling any room you enter with the je ne sais quoi. And you know something is alive because the room's swinging and your deep voice timbre rises from the floor, a steady beat beating through all those false notes, ever truthful. And that's sure a bendy road you travel along, with uncertain a lot of ducking and weaving too. Last out of Austria, maybe the last boat to America, but so many first fists, first in your feet, ever youthful. And here you are, almost a century young, with all the grace of someone who's made light in darkness and shared it magically around without stopping and still do, not missing a beat, ever ruthful. Du bist immer schön und weise, du bist Ruth Weiss. And then this is my penultimate. And this is actually to Astrid Lindgren, who had a great influence on my life. She wrote Pippi Longstocking, if you remember. And she is coming out shortly here. When the sun rises in the east, and the first sun rays wakes you up, and open your eyes mischievously warm, to the richest land of them all, the land of childhood. When you drag your pen like a broom over the earth and transform grey stone to gold, sweep us up on the way and let us free in your bullybee. Pippi gave meaning to life as well as Emil with his head in the soup bowl. Oh, Mio, my Mio, thank you, dear Astrid, for teaching me to jump over fences. Thank you for making me see that sometimes red is blue and blue is red, that nothing is exactly what it seems. When the sun goes down in the west and puts the last sun rays to rest, you close your eyes mischievously warm and whisper into our ears, see you in Nangijala. To my granddaughter, Isabella Rose Black. And there she is, the twinkle in my eye. In her palms lie my future. I follow her commands, not even pretending I have a will of my own. She looks right through me with big brown eyes, so far I can almost touch my great-great-grandmother's hair. Her dreams play in the sun And when it rains, I turn my umbrella upside down so I don't miss a drop of a gorgeous laughter.
That was magnetic, folks. Thank you, magnetic. Next, please welcome Mukethe Kawinze.
I'm going to start with a poem by Erica Lewis, who some of you might know, a fantastic local poet, an amazing woman. And this book, Mahogany, is a third in a series that she did. This is a collection of very beautiful poems about longing that are all in conversation in some way with Diana Ross. To keep my self-respect. Fuck me like a rock star. Controlled burn, I am imagining the earth moving unconditionally for us. Occasional lovers. My mama made greens in anticipation of my youth, the ancient and reimagined woman I'm looking forward to showing you. Around the prairie, we can talk more in the beautiful prairie light battle rhyme hymn book. This is hard, but true. A lot of what weighs us down isn't ours to carry. Saltwater gloss, soft cheetah, feather spiral. It's like all of a sudden people realized she's mad. Like it was so hidden before. Beyonce said, drink this lemonade. If we love, we will be replaced. Smudge feathers, seed inside seems so slow to grow. We will walk and see the buffalo. Be a badass love beam. I'll save you a spot. No problem at all. Thank you. So I'm a shepherd. I herd goats down in Pescadero, and usually I read about goats and grass and things like that, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Tonight I'm gonna read about fucking. So when I started spending time in San Francisco after about 4.5 years of farming, 4.5 years of living and working in rural America, it was like, this felt like this return to human intimacy, a reconnection to other colored people, a reconnection to queer folk. And I had a very fun hoe period when I first started spending time here. And so this is dedicated to women everywhere who love slutting around. This is called Home. There was a brown girl. She was black, actually, and not very pretty. She knew she was ugly from a young age because the world let her know early. There was a brown boy. He was yellow, actually, and half Jewish, and beautiful. They found each other fast amidst a sea of white people and joined up. They were odd, and they didn't yet know who they were because they were still young. The ugly black girl wanted the beautiful yellow Semite very much, but she could not have him because all she had was her oddness, and she was ugly and not white. One day, the beautiful yellow Semite behaves as though maybe the ugly black girl is not so ugly, and maybe something more than odd. She is confused and runs to whiteness because while it was not safe, she had figured out some measure of it, very young, because she had to survive. Years later, the ugly black girl writes a letter to the beautiful yellow Semite. He is kind in his response. They do not say it, but I wonder if they have come to realize the same thing. There are many white boys, and then the ugly black girl runs away from life, for a long while actually, and returns, having thought about things. which was the point. There is a black woman. She knows how to use femininity now, and she is rarely called ugly and often called pretty, although the world still makes clear that she will never be as pretty as a white woman. There is a brown man. He works hard to defend his people who are poor and brown and, yes, downtrodden, because poor brown people are trodden down. The brown man wants the black woman, and the black woman wants the brown man. They have sex. There is a red-bone man. He looks strong, and he is smart. He worked hard to make himself who he is, and he made himself who he is at a very young age. There is a black woman. They have the same eyes. The black woman wants the red-bone man, and the red-bone man wants the black woman, and they have sex. There is a Pinoy man. She cannot hear enough of his voice, and they have sex. There is an artist, a strange, detached man from Puerto Rico. He is so fucking hot, and they have sex. There is a Bangladeshi woman who writhes beneath the black woman for a long while, actually, and the Bangladeshi woman is saying a lot of dope shit, and at a certain point, she is speaking only Bengali, and the black woman is the happiest she has ever been. There is a black woman. There is a black woman. She did what she did. She left and thought about things. They have sex, and she tells her that she has been writing songs about love. Thank you.
Wednesday. Next we have, I am very proud and pleased to welcome Ava Kubar.
Well, I'm gonna read from this book that's published by Litic Press recently. It's called Of Flesh and Frequency, A Poetics of Sound Making. And then I'm gonna read the rest in Farsi. Sorry. So country fact mine, I gotta fuck you tonight. So the book opening. This book is not philosophical. This book is not poetic. This book is not scientific. This book is not narrative. This book is not a manual. This book is not a manifesto. This book is personal. It is about sound as concept and as practice, about craft and politics. It is a statement. Women claim authority in sound, in making, in composition. It is not here to argue a single method or defend a system. It is a book of possibilities revealed through objects I touch, sounds I make, gesture I risk. Every performance, every object, every vibration described here is singular. Yet through them, I ask questions larger than myself. Before I enter experimental sound, I had already lived many lives. Pianist, other in Farsi and English, sculptor, listener, thinker with composers and their ideas. I entered this field not as a novice, but as a maker. Yet, when I want to inlay metal in my instrument, I am questioned, but can you use a rotary tool? As if tools belong to men. They do not know I grew up with rotary tools. They were my toys. In hardware stores, when I ask for a blade, I am warned it is sharp, as if my hands could not hold danger. Yet after performances, a man still asks, how did you do that? This book is about thinking. It refines terms. It reclaims the process. It speaks from a woman's point of view. It opposes institutional habits of art making. It rejects the dogma of gender, expectation, obedience. This book is for women raised from the history of instruments, from craft, from silence. It is for girls who will come to question rules, refuse definitions, and take authority.
Yo. Wow. Yeah.
Against spectacle. In men's world, spectacle means vision. A room filled with light and color, stage to demand attention. He builds images, monuments, illusions of mastery. The gaze is his weapon. His spectacle is designed to be consumed. I do not decorate, I inhabit. I do not give the imagination pictures to hold onto. Instead, I provoke ambiguity, resemble foggy climates. The sound is not staged as a product, but arises as a presence. Light and sound have been praised in silence. In science, one measured as particles, the other as vibration. Men learn to align them, to project them together, and from that came the spectacle of audio-visual performance. But this is a narrow projection, a flattening of both forces into image and effect. Every new theory of science exists to contradict the last, prove that nothing is final, nothing fixed. Why then should art be reduced to an image, a light show, a demonstration of what is already known? Somatic performance is not audiovisual, it is a lived experience. It refines and dissolves the greed of science into mystery of life, where contradiction and uncertainty are not errors but substance. Failure is not failure, it is curiosity. I don't know becomes the only honest ground to stand on. نمیدونم میگذره یا نمیگذره. میگذره چون عمره، نمیگذره چون عشق. میگذره اما نمیگذره. از بی‌زمانی رفتم تو دل اینترنت، تا تهش رفتم، یخ کردم از زمانه لغات. لغتی نیست، یا میشه یا نمیشه، باید بشه میشه که بشه. به نظرتون ما پیروز میشیم؟ میشه که بشه که ما پیروز بشیم؟ چرا نمیگذره؟ چرا نمیذارن که بگذره؟ دارم بهت میگم اینترنت دل نداره. بی خودی نرو توش، بی خودی به اخبار دل نبند. تو خرابی ها گم میشی ها، تو ساختمونای پاره. تو بدنهای بی بدن، تو تنهای بی وطن، تو سرای بی افکار. توی فکر غرق شدم. آی آدم ها که در ساحل نشسته شاد و خندان. زمان میبارد، زمان میبارد، زمان میبارد بر روزهایی، زمان میبارد بر روزهایی که در رکود خود ساکت مانده اند، در رکود خود ساکت مانده اند، ساکن در رکود، ساکن، ساکن، ساکن. همه آسمان در سرابی غرق، همه آسمان در سرابی غرق و آب و آب و آب و آب در خشکی. رویا قهقهه میزند، رویا قهقهه میزند در شهری پر التهاب، آتش زده، غمگین. تو در بیقراری خواب بیهوده قلط میزنی. فضایی برای حرکت نیست، فضایی برای حرکت نیست. خواب مرده است، خواب مرده است و ما این چنین ملعون به بیداری، لحظه به لحظه از بودن خود بیرحمانه شوکه میشه. It's a letter to Tehran. نوشته هایت رسید با باد صبح، چند صفحه خنک‌تر از رویاهای قبلیت بود ولی آسی‌تر. جوهر آبی به صفحه باران خوندت می آمد و خشخش کاغذهایت بوی عقاقی می داد. صدای ماهواره می آمد از پشت بمب‌ها. ترانه دلتنگیت را می شنیدم. آوازت لحن غریبی داشت و واژه هایت گاهی دست هایم را می سوزند. عکس هایت نگاه غمگینی داشت. دار بست موهایت به تاکستان چشمانت می آمد. کهنگی دور در جام گفته هایت چشیده می شدن. هنوز رنگی کمانت را نگه داشتن و به یاد شاخه های یاس روندت با خاک درد و دل می کنن. اینجا دویدن آسان نیست. ابرها ساعتی کار می کنند و بارانها همه از باریدن خسته اند. اما باد فراوان می وزد. جوابت را روی رود نوشتم. دفعه دیگر که به آبتنی رفتی به شنای ماهی ها گوش کن و پشت پیچ و خم کلمات خود را به آب بسپار تا وسعت آبی دریا تو را به ستاره ها می سپارم.
Burn it all down. Yes.
It's Aquamene. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. Let him go. Let him go.
Down with theocratic capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah. Gone. Forever.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. That was Ava Kubar. And coming right up, Elizabeth Edmond. Yeah. Elizabeth Edmond.
First of all, I want to thank everyone that read tonight. It's been so beautiful. So thank you to everyone. It's wonderful to be here. The song is it's like a prayer, but it's a song for these times that we're in. Be the night, be sleep so deep. Be jasmine wandering into spring. The rain will come again. A drop, a tear, a baptism. Oh, Saint Francis, the bells of Dolores. I found my way home with the black eyes of a child. Oh, Saint Francis, oh, ah, the more I live, more deeply I know love is mirroring, magnifying each other's light. My mind wanders, desire for what's in my bones. What feeds me, what protects me. Hands to hold on to. A veil lifted, dawn gleams all their names. One by one I try to gather them and release their weight. Raise your wings, raise your wings. My amp's making some noise. I don't know why. Thank you. Honoring women. Any of those people folks who identify as women. Come on, buddy. Songs from Mother Nature. What hasn't been discovered in these walls? What hasn't been overturned or revisited? Beyond the bounds of our despair. Look around. Listen to the sounds. The hollers whisper, luminescent colors. I can hear your voice. I can hear you crying. Temper your hate. This is home to you. Laws crying like rain, guns on parade. Can we see beyond a shackled country? Can we see beyond ourselves? Look around and listen to the sounds. The hollers whisper, a mother's daughter, luminescent colors.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. This last song I'm still writing, but it's really dedicated to our trans sisters. So this is for them. Yeah, I like that. Diamonds, a mouth of diamonds. A heron on canvas, Evangeline, transform this night, you elegant fighter. An alchemist, you gather us to witness in your coat and dress, you ballet dancer. Are we growing together? Let's grow together and make a scene. Rough in colors, the shapes of words, impulses of the soul. You're a moonbeam of light and darkness, of light and darkness. We are all us. We are all us. I need somebody. I need someone. We all need somebody.
Isaac Quenze, Ava Kubar, and Elizabeth Edwards.